Hey, patrons, it's X, and I'm here with Mike Bowman joining me once again. Welcome to the Secret Patron Show. This is the Patreon exclusive content that is for those who have supported the show there or have waited out the 6-month episode. We've recently swapped to a per month basis for patronage, so tell your wife, tell your kids, tell your friends to sign up. It's now like 75% off. Anyway, this week I didn't feel like doing a ton of extra legwork because it's pretty much me. Not me going solo the whole show, but it's been me and Mike doing the main stuff out there. But you're going to get a bunch of X stuff. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. As backup, there's always Jim Bakker to help me out when I might be feeling low. And this is a bit of a longer video, and I'm not going to lie, I'm doing that to pad time a little bit because Jim Bakker says enough wackadoodle shit that we can go off on things quite a bit. So, but it's a longer video, and it's still wacky as shit. So without any further delay, let's get into what Right Wing Watch News has called Bakker on Trump, Elephants, the Circus, and the End. So here we go.
God spoke to me. Unless we repent, unless we talk to God.
That's never a good way to start any kind of conversation with me. God spoke to me, be like, nope, I'm done. See ya. No, you didn't. No, he didn't. No, it didn't happen. No, that does not work for me.
Unless we turn to God. And if we destroy our president, do you believe it was a miracle, right? You said that.
I do believe it.
All right. That
is one of the absolute shittiest miracles I think would ever be performed would be getting Donald Trump elected into office. I mean, could you think of a bigger turd sandwich that the religious right would be able to glom onto and be like, this is a miracle? Like, no, it's called a populist candidate that, in a country where they hate everybody that's not just them, their group. It's like he was doing this. He won because people are inherently racist. How about that one? No, that's not it at all. That can't possibly be it.
No, it's God.
We choose not to believe that. It was all God did this. It was a miracle.
Oh, yeah.
come against what God does. Or when you're saying Trump is no good, we got to get rid of him. You're attributing to Satan what God did. Is that right?
That's very dangerous.
Except God lets Satan do things. I mean, because apparently he can stop him at any time, but doesn't. He has free reign over water systems and shit, and I don't. For when you tell a Christian, like, okay, do you believe God created everything? Yes. So God created evil? No. Satan created evil. Like, no, he says in the Bible, yes, I created evil. But let's not get to that point. Like, who created Satan? Oh. Until you get to like the Mormon mythos, there's not really like a good explanation for it. But the Mormons, as you know, Mike, of course, that Satan was Jesus's brother, in the war of the heavens that happened prior to the pre-existence kind of thing. And for those that are listening that haven't read into the Mormon space opera that is, the Book of Mormon, you really should not go pick up that book. Instead, go watch Battlestar Galactica. It's a lot better. And I am talking about the old Battlestar Galactica. The new one's too good for that, but fuck, they're making a new one too, I think. I'll watch it. It's going to be fun.
Well, the same day President Trump arrived in the Mideast, something happened.
Did you have an erection that lasted for more than 4 hours? Is that I should probably let him finish instead of interrupting, but it's just too much fun.
Something happened after 146 years. Would that be epic?
Yeah. Sure.
146 years?
Yes.
Something happened, and God spoke to me.
You're that old? Holy shit.
It hasn't happened for 146 years.
What could he possibly be talking about? Is he going to bring up the talking point where he was the only president to visit the Western Wall or whatever the fuck they call it over there in Jerusalem? Even though that's been debunked, like every president's visited that thing since, well, at least since we've started tracking certain things like that, because, that's so fucking important.
He said, this is no accident. The same day he arrives in the Mideast, the Ringling Brothers Circus packs up its tent. After 146 years, it performs its last performance. The elephant is mainly to blame. Now, that's not the prophecy, but that's a piece of the prophecy.
Trump visiting Israel is the reason that, am I following him here correctly, that Trump is the reason that the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus is closing up shop. He's trying to say the elephant's not part of the prophecy, but it has something to do with it. It's like
the sign.
How about the fact that that company, Feld Entertainment, exploits the shit out of its workers? How about that? Or, you know, the fact that you can't go to the circus without spending a lot of fucking money on it. Or how about the mistreatment of all the animals therein? I mean, the circuses have evolved quite a lot since the 146 years, as he said. And the stuff that they're doing mainly nowadays, it's not as lucrative as, you know, doing the Avengers live shows or the ice shows and stuff like that. So I could see as a business decision why they would get out of it, especially when they're facing such a backlash when it comes to tigers and lions and shit like that. And I'm glad I got to go see it before they've canceled it. And I took one of my oldest with me, but my youngest ones are probably going to never have any idea what the circus is unless I take them to like Cirque du Soleil, which honestly is a better show, I would think.
I've been to the circus once and it wasn't Ringling Brothers, and I was pretty disappointed. It was just like, this is kind of lame, and I feel bad for those elephants.
Yeah. Like you could tell they've just been beat into being able to do those kind of things. Just, oh man, that's terrible.
The elephant is no longer in the show by law. In America, you cannot have elephants in circuses anymore.
Because it's cruel. In America, you can't keep a black person caged up anymore in your basement. What the hell's going wrong in this country? I don't understand it. They told me that I can't keep a concubine chained up in my bedroom. They told me that Salacious Crumb has to be let go, otherwise I can't have him in my pleasure barge anymore. That's a really deep cut.
Because they protect. Isn't it something? We kill 50 million babies, or
almost 60.
Almost 60 million babies in America, but yet you can't have an elephant perform because it's not humane.
How many babies have been killed by God and Jesus and all of those other fun things when it comes to miscarriages or, you know, natural occurrences within the female body? How many have died of that, Jim? Have you been keeping count of that? Have you been personally reaching up into the ovaries and being like, oh, wait, let's do an egg count. We can't possibly be worried. Man.
Yeah, I mean, if you can have your abortions, then damn it, I want to abuse some elephants.
And having 55 million since Roe versus Wade, like in the 70s, like that's a lot. But they're also claiming that each one of those was a viable human life, which we know a lot of them would not be. So,
No.
and those ones that would have potentially have harmed the mother because, you know, childbirth is no fucking joke, especially child rearing, carrying, and all that stuff. I'm learning it like with my kids being preteens. Like I love family members to death, but I've never, you know, love-hated somebody sometime before where like, I love my kids. Man, when they do this certain thing, it just drives me up the fucking wall.
Yeah.
So,
I love my kids, but sometimes I don't like them very much.
mm-hmm. And it's good for us adults to be able to admit that kind of thing out there. It's like, don't think any less of these people that when we say something like this, because nothing's going to change the fact that we love our kids, especially, you know, when they're getting to be older and stuff, and especially when they're little tiny fun things. But when they're learning how to integrate in society, it's fucking hard. Especially when they're trying to learn how to live with each other. Oh, that's my problem. Anyway, back to Jim Bakker, elephants and shit.
Right.
Come on, people, you better wake up and listen. The elephant is no longer in the show, and it was the death knell of the circus because
Death knoll. A death knoll. He's talking about the fictional species in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, the gnolls. Is he talking about a death knell? Oh, that's what he's supposed to mean. The death knell of the circus, you know. Man, this guy. I'm just gonna make up wordifications every time I want to say some kind of a intelligent things that might sound somewhat thinkable. It's just
They found out that the elephant was the biggest draw the circus had. Isn't that something? So
That really is.
now, what is the symbol of the elephant?
Oh, yes. It's amazing, honey.
Lori Baker. What
Oh,
the fuck?
yeah.
It's
That's
amazing, honey.
amazing.
I'm gonna see if I can rewind that just a
That
little bit
elephant.
because that was creepy as shit.
Isn't that something?
I know.
That's something.
That really is.
Now, what is the symbol of the elephant?
Oh, yes. It's amazing, honey.
Oh yes. Oh man, it's like these guys haven't even thought of it. I don't think it has anything to do with the elephants being at the circus or the tigers being at the circus. It has to do with the fact that it's not entertaining anymore. With YouTube and stuff like that, you got to work a lot harder to get people's attention and stuff
Yeah.
to show them something entertaining, something fun. People aren't so much into the, let's go to this giant thing that kind of stinks a bit and it's got clowns that are creepy as shit and it's got acrobats that are kind of cool, but at the same time, like if I want a drink, it's going to cost me $27 because it's at a stadium. It's like there's a lot of reasons that the circus has failed, and I don't think the elephant is the main draw of it. You fucking simpleton.
Say it. The Republican Party. You don't know that?
Of course we do, but
You ought to
that
help
is
me.
so-
Are
yeah,
you guys
it's-
high church? What are you?
It's another.
Any
another
holy
quote.
rollers here? Anybody from a Pentecostal? I need some Pentecost or some shouting Baptist. Anybody a shouting Baptist? You're a shouting
I'm a
Baptist.
shouting
That's right.
Shouting Baptist.
Okay, now listen to me.
Any whirling dervishes in the audience? How about any Sikhs? Do we got any Sikhs out in the audience? It's like he's calling out very specific groups. Be like, anybody here pray with snakes? anybody brought them with them? Let's just go ahead and bring them up here. How about glossolalia? Anybody speaking in tongues? Let's bring them up here too.
Listen to me. You want me to tell you what God spoke to me about this?
Yes.
And you know what?
Oh, he's getting serious.
Also happened in this 24-hour period, 48-hour period.
Okay. And what happened in this 24, this 48, this 72, this week-long period, this month-long, year-long period? It's just, I hate how these people gish gallop things. I hate how they go from like being a small thing to a twice as much of a thing to 8 times as much of a thing to, you know how many times I was multiplying by 2s here? It's like, by the time I got to the end of the checkerboard, I was at like 1 quadrillion kind of shit. It's like, fuck you, Jim. Quit doing that.
This news from Manchester in England, where 22, mostly children, were murdered by a terrorist.
Okay.
You're not going to like this, Pastor.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
All right.
I'm not a happy prophet. I'm a prophet of doom, as they say. You know, Jim Bakker is a prophet of doom. No,
And he's been wrong every fucking time. The prophet of doom has been wrong every single time. And you know why? Because we're all still here. We're all still doing the terrible stuff he said that we ought stop doing. And there's more of us. And, life's getting easier in general for a lot of people. Crime's going down in general for everybody. You're wrong, Jim. You're just completely wrong. And I can't wait to hear what you're going to be wrong about this time.
I'm a prophet of the king is coming back.
Yes,
And all the
right.
stuff that has to happen, Jesus is coming
Yes,
back.
That's right.
I've spent a lot of time in the Revelation. Revelation is now, people.
Yes, it is.
It's like saying like the only book that you read is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's like that would be infinitely more entertaining, but at the same time, it's like I've only looked into this one specific book. I've only looked this one specific book. I've only read this over and over and over and over and over again. That's like me trying to
Got my towel.
That's like me trying to reread Dune and find out more deep meanings behind like the Baron Harkonnen or the why they actually moved to Arrakis to begin with. It's like the book's already really fucking laced up with a lot of information that helped build the later books in the series. But I'm just saying that it's not the only book that I read. I read a lot of other stuff because who wants to base their whole life on one book? I mean, probably don't answer that because I know there's people that do, but Jim, you're killing me here.
Here's what God spoke to me. The circus is over.
Amen.
Oh,
You guys can't see the video here, but there was somebody, he actually paid somebody to produce this for the show, and it came up with big white text that says the circus is over underneath like the bottom third of the screen. It's amazing.
Yes.
wow.
And
Wow.
and
This is so good, isn't it?
and
Pastor,
life
this is amazing.
life as we know it, unless we turn back to God, it's not going to be fun anymore.
I thought we weren't here to have fun to begin with.
Of course, if the circus isn't around, we're not going to have fun anymore.
It's just going to be tears and crying all the time. It's gonna, all these out of work circus performers are just going to turn to a life of crime or something. Give me all your money. Honk, honk.
Carnies.
Oh man, holy shit. There's a reason I avoid like going to like state fair. I mean, I like the state fair and I like going to local stuff like in different cities and everything here, especially here in Utah. But the thing is, I don't ride the rides because those people creep me the fuck out, as well as playing any kind of like games when you're there. At least at Lagoon, they have the common decency not to even ask half the time. They're like, yeah, nobody really wants to do these things, especially when you're there as often as I am. But if you go to like the place and they're like, you want to throw some hoops into the around these milk cartons for you get 20 rings for $18. It's like, oh no, nope. You're creepy as shit. You're gonna go buy meth with that, aren't you?
They went to a concert.
Oh,
21,000 people went to a concert for fun, happiness, joy,
yeah.
and a bomb went off.
Oh,
Outside the event, after the concert. And if like 20 of them died where there were like 20,000 people there, that's 1,000th of the people, 1,000th of the percentage of people that were there. It's just like, it's not
It
very
could have
many.
been a lot
It
worse.
could have been fucking a lot worse. And I'm not saying I don't feel bad for the people that died. I'm just saying that for him to be making such a big deal when it comes to 119 injuries and 22 deaths is like, it could have been a lot worse. Just like the Boston Marathon bombing could have been a lot worse. I mean, it was terrible what happened, but it could have been much fucking worse.
Mount Everest,
Oh, he's gonna bring this up again.
Again?
Hillary's step, has collapsed.
Edmund Hillary
Mountaineer
step.
confirms.
Hmm.
Mount Everest, the rocky outcrop near the peak of Mount Everest.
Oh wait, no, this
has
is Everest, not
collapsed.
St.
Oh.
Helens. Sorry.
Hillary's step, it's called, has collapsed.
Gee, I wonder why that is, Jim. Maybe because they had like a 7-point something earthquake in fucking Nepal, like last year or the year before. You know, an earthquake that's bad enough that it changes the goddamn terrain of the country that's there. And they had to go out and they had to resurvey the mountain because they're like, wait, we need to find out if this is actually the tallest peak on the planet still, or if it got taller or shorter. It's that bad of an earthquake. And gee, where do fault lines usually happen? Oh, on the mountains. Dumbass. God. Oh, I just wish some of these people that were like hardcore Christians like Jim Bakker knew the slightest modicum of scientific theory, or you know how the earth works. They don't know geology, they don't know anything basic when it comes to the sciences, and it shows. I mean, it really does show. Let's let him finish. He's got like 10 seconds.
You can do with that whatever you want. There's warfare.
yes.
There's warfare, people.
There's always been warfare. There will always be warfare, whether it be trench warfare from like the post 1900s, or if we're going to be cyber warfare like we're currently fighting with other countries right now. There's going to be warfare, and I don't see an end to it anytime soon because humans are just right nasty fucking assholes to each other when it comes down to it. I mean, hell, not to bring too much family stuff into it, but I see my kids just about to strangle each other every day, and it's like, oh, yeah, we really are just a bunch of fucking evolved apes, aren't we? Like, you like get too close to somebody's stuff, and they and they go crazy and shit. Oh man, Jim, you crazy motherfucker! The circus is over. Ah! it just makes me want to think.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, honey. That's like something somebody in drag would say. It's like, you tell him, honey.
50 million babies, or
Oh, I know. It's 50 million babies. It was right after that. It's like, you know what the elephant is? The symbol.
come on, people, you better wake up and listen.
All right, I'm not going to put you guys through too much more of that. I was hoping I could find it real quick. I should have kept it, but Lori, what? She's on drugs. That's the only explanation I'm willing to accept at this point, is that she's just high on something the whole time. Like, yeah, purple dogs. And I'm like, bananas when you lick them. And it's like, what? In her own mind, she's making complete sense, but everybody else is going, you're fucking crazy. So anyway, that's it for the patron stuff that we got for you guys this week. This is Mike and this is X, and guess what? We're going to bed because it's 1:00 in the morning. Hooray! Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to that. We'll catch you guys again next week with another episode. And for you guys that are listening to this in, oh shit, what would that be? It would be, almost December. Holy fuck. Merry Christmas.
Damn.